One day a farmer's donkey fell into a well. The animal cried loudly for hours, while the farmer tried to find something to do to get him out. Finally, the farmer decided that the donkey was old and the well was already dry and needed to be covered anyway, but it really wasn't worth pulling the donkey out of the well. He invited all his neighbors to come help him. They each grabbed a shovel and began to throw dirt into the well. The donkey realized what was happening and cried horribly loud. Then, to everyone's surprise, he quieted down after a few shovelfuls of dirt. The farmer finally looked down into the well and was amazed at what he saw. With each shovelful of dirt, the donkey was doing something incredible. It was shaking off the dirt and stepping on top of the dirt. Very soon everyone saw surprised how the donkey reached the mouth of the well, went over the edge and trotted out. The moral of the story is, life is going to throw dirt at you, all kinds of dirt. The trick to getting out of the hole is to shake it off and use it to step up. Each of our problems is a step up. We can get out of the deepest holes if we don't give up. I had spent an hour in the bank with my dad, as he had to transfer some money. I couldn't resist myself and asked, "Dad, why don't we activate your internet banking?" "Why would I do that?" he asked. "Well, then you won't have to spend an hour here for things like transfer. You can even do your shopping online. Everything will be so easy." I was so excited about initiating him into the world of net banking. He asked, "If I do that, I won't have to step out of the house?" "Yes, yes," I said. I told him how even grocery can be delivered at door now and how Amazon delivers everything. His answer left me tongue-tied. He said, "Since I entered this bank today, I have met 4 of my friends. I have chatted a while with the staff who know me very well by now. You know I am alone. This is the company that I need. I like to get ready and come to the bank. I have enough time. It is the physical touch that I crave. 2 years back I got sick. The store owner from whom I buy fruits came to see me and sat by my bedside and cried. When your mom fell down few days back while on her morning walk, our local grocer saw her and immediately got his car to rush her home as he knows where I live. Would I have that human touch if everything became online? Why would I want everything delivered to me and force me to interact with just my computer? I like to know the person that I'm dealing with and not just the seller. It creates bonds of relationships. Does Amazon deliver all this as well? Technology is in life. Spend time with people. A doctor entered the hospital in a hurry after being called in for an urgent surgery. He answered the call, changed his clothes and went directly to the surgery block. He found the boy's father pacing in the hall waiting for the doctor. On seeing him, the dad yelled, "Why did you take all this time to come? Don't you know that my son's life is in danger? Don't you have any sense?" The doctor smiled and said, "I am sorry. I wasn't in the hospital and I came as fast as I could after receiving the call. And now, I wish you'd calm down so that I can do my work." Calm down? What if your son was in this room right now? Would you calm down? If your own son dies now, what will you do? Said the father angrily. The doctor smiled again and replied, "I will say what Job said in the Holy Book. From dust we came and to dust we returned. Blessed be the name of God. Doctors cannot prolong lives. Don't intercede for your son. We will do our best by God's grace. Giving advices when we're not concerned is so easy," murmured the father. The surgery took some hours, after which the doctor went out happy. "Thank goodness. Your son is saved." And without waiting for the father's reply, he carried on his way running. If you have any questions, ask the nurse. Why is he so arrogant? He couldn't wait some minutes so that I ask about my son's state, commented the father when seeing the nurse minutes after the doctor left. The nurse answered, tears coming down her face. His son died yesterday in a road accident. He was at the burial when we called him for your son's surgery. And now that he saved your son's life, he left running to finish his son's burial. Moral of the story: never judge anyone, because you never know how their life is and what they're going through. Teacher addresses a student and asks, "How many kidneys do we have?" 4. The student responds, 4. The teacher was one of those who took pleasure in picking on his students' mistakes and demoralizing them. Bring a bundle of grass, because we have an ass in the room. The teacher orders a front bencher. And for me a coffee, the student added. The teacher was furious and expelled the student from the room. The student was, by the way, the humorist Apparitio Torelli Apporelli, better known as the Baron de Iterer. On his way out of the classroom, the student still had the audacity to correct the furious teacher. "You asked me how many kidneys we have. We have 4. 2 of mine, and 2 of yours." "We have" is an expression used for the plural. Enjoy the grass. Life demands much more understanding than knowledge. Sometimes people, because they have a little or knowledge, or believe that they have it, feel they have the right to underestimate others. A farmer was selling butter in a very small town. The baker was one of his most loyal customers. But one day he started to suspect that the bar of butter weighed less than he was paying by the pound. So, he decided to weigh the bar of butter on the scales of his own business, and found his fears were unfounded. He gathered several settlers as witnesses and headed to court to sue the farmer. Once there, the judge asked the farmer if he was using a measure to sell the pounds of butter. In a confident voice and with a lot of tempo, the accused responded that, by working with primitive instruments, he did not have a mechanism to weigh his merchandise. However, the farmer did have a method he used as a scale. "Your Honor, long before the baker started buying the butter, I would buy him a pound of bread every day. He brings it to me early in the morning. What I do is put it on a scale and I give him the same amount of butter for the weight he gives me of bread." Everyone leaned back and looked in perspective at the baker. The baker decided to step down and never again complained about the weight of the butter. Moral of the story: do not do unto others what you do not want done unto you. There was a poor boy who hawked flowers on the highway. One day, an old man stopped him and said, "Why do you hawk flowers on such a busy and dangerous road?" The boy responded, "My family is poor and can't afford my school expenses." The old man said, "But you're doing it wrong, little boy. You take so much risk by running through the main road. Do you know that you could get hit by a vehicle?" The boy whispered, "I just need to earn money so I can get back to school." The old man snapped, "But your life is more important than education. So many people did not attend school but ended up becoming great people. Are you going to die all because you want to be educated? Now listen. If you get hit by a car, You're going to die. And if you die, there would be no education for you. Do you understand me?" Then the old man added, "Education is not the key to success. Don't risk your life for it." The poor boy pondered over the old man's words as he watched him walk away. For many days, he thought and thought until he vowed to himself never to sell flowers again. 15 years later, the poor boy had grown into a young man and was poorer without any source of income. One day, he met an old man and pleaded, "Excuse me, sir. Can you spare some change?" The old man stormed, "Why didn't you study to become useful for yourself?" The young man replied, "My parents were poor and couldn't send me to school." The old man blurted out, "Don't blame your parents. So many people worked really hard and risked their lives as kids to pay their school expenses because they knew the importance of education. But you did nothing. So it's all your fault." The young man felt hurt and downcast by the old man's words, and even more when he realized he was the same old man he met 10 years ago. How often do you listen to people who try to discourage you from doing the things you want to do? How often do you let the opinions of others consume you? Do you know that the people who discourage you from chasing your dream are the same people who will blame you for not reaching your dream? They are quick to judge your job, but won't help you when you're broke. Take control of your destiny. Believe in yourself. Ignore those who try to discourage you. You decide who you want to become, and other people's opinions shouldn't matter. Do not let the opinions and discouragement of others dictate your path in life. A week-old man walked into a shoe store and asked for the price of a pair of shoes. After making his payment, he asked the salesperson, "Could you please show me your trash can?" She responded, "Right over there on the left." The old man then walked towards the bin and dumped one of the shoes he just bought into it. The salesperson saw what he did and broke into uncontrollable giggles. She knew obviously that the old man was drunk. She mocked him and watched him leave the store with only one of the shoes. The following week, the old man visited the shoe store again to buy another pair of shoes. Having recognized him, the salesperson watched him carefully, waiting to see his next silly act. As soon as he paid for the new shoes, he moved towards the garbage bin and threw away one of the shoes, repeating his previous act. The salesperson wouldn't stop laughing at him. When the old man noticed that he was being teased, he felt miserable and left the store with only one shoe. 1 week later, the old man came to the store for the third time. But this time around, the salesperson had no option but to confront him. "We don't have any shoes for you, drunk old man," she declared. The man said calmly, "But why? I have never owed you money." The lady scoffed. "Now listen here, drunk old man. I have reported you to my boss, and he said we shouldn't let dumb people like you visit our store. So can you leave now?" Just then, the store owner arrived and saw the two individuals having a little argument. The salesperson was quick to give an explanation, blaming the old man. But on a quest to hear the other side of the story, the store owner asked the old man, "Why do you always dump one of your shoes in our store?" The old man paused for a moment. With tears in his eyes, he began to speak. "When I lost my wife many years ago, I had to raise our only son all by myself. Luckily, He grew up into a bright young man and was the most hardworking and smartest person I knew. Few months to his wedding, 3 years ago, he had a car accident and lost one of his legs. It hurts me so much as a father, and hurts me even more knowing that all my son's dreams in life had been terminated. Now, whenever I buy him shoes, I always discard the other pair because my son has only one foot. Do not be too quick in judging other people. Every single person on the planet has a story. So don't judge or criticize anyone without having full knowledge of what they are going through. Hear from the other side before you judge. If you find value in this content, please like, share, and follow.